talk about the gooseneck. Now we'll go to talk about the injector head. The main purpose for the injector head is to snap or pulling out the coil tubing under control. So the injector head is control the movement for the coil tubing while snapping under pressure or while pulling out from the hole. It gives the necessary force and the traction required to run on hole and pulling out the coil tubing. Injector head consists of two motor. One is drive, give hydraulic pressure system to the component to control the movement for the coil tubing. If you look here, there is here chain, okay, with blocks here to grip around the coil tubing to control the running speed for the coil tubing while running or snapping under pressure or pulling out from the hole. What is the meaning for injector head rating is 70K? What is the meaning for 70K?
It is its pulling capacity.
This is 70,000 pound maximum pull capacity or safe pull capacity for the injector head. So when you select the injector head, you select based on two factors usually, based on the maximum pull for the injector head and also maximum snapping force you are getting from the injector head. This is based on the wellhead pressure and what is the force for the well pour. I mean force, that means pressure by area for cross section for coil tubing by the force from the hole. So we need force greater than this value to be able to snap the coil tubing pipe under pressure till we reach to the balance point. The balance point, that means you are going to stripping your coil tubing without need to add more force for snapping. This is the balance point when the force from the hole is equal to the weight for your coil tubing pipe. The basic function for injector head including pulling the coil tubing string, which is called tensile force, pushing the coil tubing under pressure, which is snapping force. So you increase the force throughout this cylinders. The cylinder make gripping for the chain block around the coil tubing without cause damage to secure the coil tubing while pulling out, especially if the weight for coil tubing while pulling out is reduced near to the surface. So the pressure for the well can eject the coil tubing out from the hole. That's why also we increase the gripping force without cause damage to control the pulling out for the coil tubing. Holding the coil tubing stationary in place also was increasing the force. If you have cut in power, guiding and supporting the coil tubing string when it's coming from the gooseneck. This is the injector head. This is the V-block injector chain. Here is the grabber assembly, okay, over the chain. We have two types here for the V-block. One is V-block variable diameter block, and another type is called semicircular block. The advantage for variable diameter, it can use for different size for coil tubing. It gives you maximum and minimum OD to contain or to grip. But this one semicircle is for only one size for coil tubing. Which size you use? Which one we use during operation?
Semicircular.
Semicircle, this is for constant diameter for the coil tubing.
We need to change the gripper blocks for whenever we need to change the size of the coil tubing.
Yeah, we need to check the stripper, sorry, the injector head, the
DOP
gripper.
inserts.
Yeah, to change to the required size. That's why the variable one is best one during the operation, but is not in all company. It's not available in all company.
Yeah.
Again, there is two, as we said, there is two tension apply. First tension is traction force. This is the inside force, the chain, for gripping the pipe without cause damage to the coiled tubing. And another chain or another tension is the chain force, another cylinder here for outside. When you are running in hole, you grip, so you need to increase the chain force here to not cause buckling to the chain while running in hole. So this outside tension, which must be increased while snapping to avoid chain buckling. This is the two tension apply through the injector head. In some cases you find the pipe is run away under its weight without control. So in this case, you need to, you must increase the gripping force around the pipe to control the movement or stop the movement for the coiled tubing. To reduce the vibration, because there is a lot of vibration inside the injector head, we have absorbing accumulator mounted in the here in the bottom for the injector head to absorb any vibration while operation. This is the assembly for the roller, gripping block above roller, and there is a link plate between each section, and this is spelt pin and click pin to connect the system together. After that, we'll talk about stripper assembly. The primary barrier, again, is the pressure while movement and while static condition, sometimes called stuffing box. It's installed above BOP and below injector head. In some cases, it can be dual, but still one barrier. The dual stripper, you double the stripper, but still one barrier. In this case, we use this one under some extreme condition, like gas, high pressure gas well, or if you have percentage for H2S, or if you are working in specific location like near city or inside camp, so you need to double this primary barrier. So to use two barrier, which is called tandem or dual barrier. And this one hydraulic activation from control panel to increase the hydraulic pressure can be redressed or changed during the operation with pressure isolated. So you stop operation, you close the POP, then you inflow test the POP to check and bleed pressure before you start to change the packing element for the stripper. We have different types for the stripper. First one is the conventional stripper. This one on the right, which is all type. Nowadays we use the second type, which is tandem stripper or side door stripper. The same side door and tandem, the same side door, but the tandem, this one has connection to install below the first one or above one. That's why it's called tandem stripper. Radial stripper, this shape for the radial stripper here, like the shape for the pipe ring. First type is called conventional stripper. This one, composition. This one is called tubing inside the well bore. So if you are going to change the packing element, the black one here, stripping element, so you have two port here, hydraulic. You will push pressure and retract port, so the system will be tracked back. So you are going to open the system or disconnect from the top two pins. So we get the upper press out. You need to check this non-extrusion ring first also. Then in two parts, you will change the stripper around the coiled tubing. Then you connect this system again, upper and lower press, energizer, and you have piston here. After you install the system, you will start to apply pressure from back port. So this one will affect on piston, so the piston will compress the system and compress the packing element around the coil tubing for effective seal. This type for stripper, the dressing time, it will take long time compared with tandem one. So it will take around 1 hour or less than 1 hour. If you look here, the pressure for well is come from below the port here. So the pressure for the well will make more energized and help for pressure assist. The pressure will assist to make more sealing around the coil tubing for the packing element, because in the same direction below affect on the piston. That's why this the type is called pressure assist. This is only this type is well pressure assist for energizing the stripper element. Second one or second type is called side door stripper. From its name, it is open from the side to side with door. So this door is retractable door. When you have any leak, you close already POP and inflow test. So you open the door by easy way, so you get the packing element change from its place in two parts. Here, when you install everything in place, you will find the piston here from the top, the back port from the top. You will apply pressure here, so you will energize the system and make seal around the coil tubing inside the well port. So this type not like the conventional one. It is not pressure assist because the pressure for the well will be from below, but you energize the system from the top. What is the main advantage for that one? So here, well pressure does not help to energize the element. The main advantage here, easy to replace or redressing the packing element. It will take only maximum 10 minutes. Which type for stripper you use during operation?
Side door.
The side door. Okay. Third one is the tandem stripper, the same, but it has connection to connect below the top stripper. That's why it's called tandem stripper, used with fixed stripper. Similar principle as side door. Backup system, allow operation to continue without any delay. Primary stripper should be redressed at the earliest opportunity. That means if you have leak, you will energize the top one, then to close the lower stripper, then you change the top packing element. So all the time you have two barriers. You have the POP closed and the bottom stripper. That's why we advise in some conditions or high pressures well or gas well or H2S wells to use tandem stripper for more security and well control. The last type is the radial stripper.
Can you, Mr. Ahmed,
Yeah.
can you please repeat the tandem stripper? As you said that API recommends using tandem stripper in high pressure wells.
Tandem stripper usually is according to the policy for the company, but in some certain condition, according to the API, when you have high pressures, well, especially gas well, okay. Second, if you have high percentage for H2S. Third condition, if you are rigging up near to population area, like near city or inside camp, so there is people around. That's why we advise to use tandem or dual stripper during the operation. Okay.
Why? What is the advantage of it?
What is the advantage? You have tandem. If you have leak in the one, you're still able to close the lower stripper, okay, and you close the POP. In this case, when you are going to change the top one, so you have double barrier two barrier closed. Instead of if you have only one and failed, you close only the POP. In this case, you have only one barrier closed.
Okay, fine. Tandem stripper is basically is just like a conventional stripper, right?
Not conventional, side door.
Okay,
The same side door. You have one in below connected to injector head, and there is connection at the bottom. This top connection is connected below, so you have two or tandem stripper. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, welcome. Last one is radial stripper. It's not common type. Do you use this one before?
No.
Okay, radial stripper I don't see before also, but it is look like inspection for BOB RAM, but it's different from BOB because BOB is take pressure to close and open, but this one is sealing during operation. So here is generally used for certain conditions like high pressure wells or larger pipe more than 238. Again, the redress time is too long, like 45 minutes. That's why it's not common type. If you need to change the packing element, you will open from two sides the radial stripper to get the two section for the packing element out and replace. This is a lubricator or riser which contain high pressure pipes connected to top of well above the POP, contain bottom hole assembly or tool string, and including also any fish tool from the hole. You must have lubricator length longer than the bottom hole assembly, at least by like 8 or 10 feet. Rated working pressure like POB is up to 15K. The standard length is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 inch. Here is the secondary well control barrier, which is the blowout preventer or the POB, which usually is secure cold tubing and isolate well pressure during normal or during emergency situation. All rams is holding pressure from below, from direction of the flow as we said. So all rams should be pressure tested before start operation from below. BOB types can be ram types or can be annular type. Annular preventer is packing element. It is optional. We can use with rigging up coil tubing below the stripper, but is not backup for the stripper assembly because this one can be closed once you need or when you require to seal around different size for bottom hole assembly. Okay, if you have long bottom hole assembly, different size. Coil tubing BOB features is side kill port, equalizing valve for each sealing ram. When you nibble up or rigging up the BOB and connect the hydraulic hoses, the first thing to do is the function test. You need to open and close to check the function for each ram. Coil tubing can be available in combination, 2 rams, combi, triple, 3 ram, or quad, which is 4 rams set. Okay, gentlemen. Usually the coil tubing is solid block BOB, fewer, less potential for leakage or less height also and weight. Ram configuration, combi BOB can be slip or blind the top, pipe ram bottom, triple BOB, blind, shear, slip and pipe ram. Quad BOB, the most common type from top, blind, shear, slip and pipe ram. It can be differ a little bit from company to company, this configuration. Let's talk about the quad BOB, 4 ramps. So you have here, first one here, or the top one is blind. The blind is sealing ram, seal the pressure for the hole. It closes without coil tubing in place. Shear ram, the middle one here, the second one from top. It is cut the coil tubing only, is not designed to cut bottom hole assembly. Slip ram here, third one, is hold coil tubing weight without cause damage, but it's not sealing ram. That means you close further the slip ram because it's not cause slippage for the body for the coil tubing, hold the weight. After that, you close the pipe ram in the bottom to seal the pressure for the hole. So the pipe ram is designed to close around one size for the coil tubing. In some cases, shear ram, there is a range for the cutting for coil tubing size. You need to check the manufacturer for the POP. What is the maximum size you can cut with the shear ram? What is the maximum size according to your BOB for shear ram?
2-inch. We are using the maximum size. Since we are using 2-inch CT, so the maximum size of ram insert, shear ram insert is 2-inch. We have.
So even you use 1.5, the shear ram maximum to cut 2-inch, so not a change.
No, we change. If we convert the convert our setup from 2-inch to 1.5, then the setup includes the change of BOP RAM inserts, stripper assembly, and coil tubing injector head gripper blocks. So we need to change all of these parts as the requirement of the size of the city.
Okay, but about shear ram, you change the shear ram also?
I guess, yeah.
You change the shear ram when you change the size for the coil tubing?
No, we don't, because
We don't.
both can share.
Okay, so you have to check the maximum. So the maximum you put as the maximum coil tubing size you have in the company. So you put like 2-inch, so you will cut everything below the 2-inch, right? So when you change, as you said, the coil tubing, you need to check about stripper assembly, slip ram change, pipe ram, and the blind and shear, no need to change. You have here also pressure sensors to give you reading about the pressure inside the well. Side kill port, this one, installed above the slip ram. So after you cut, the shear ram is designed to cut the pipe without cause damage to the top. It's smooth cut. So maybe you're able to pump inside. So this one, kill port, usually we use for killing operation only. For emergency, well control is not for normal circulation. Do not make erosion inside the body for the coil tube, or the body for the BOB for the coil tube. And equalizing valve, each sealing ram only have equalizing valve. You need to open first to equalize or transfer the pressure from below to above the ram before we open under pressure. Here the quad BOB ram assembly. So if you look here, this is shear ram, cutters or blades. And this one is blind assembly to seal the hole without pipe inside. This one is slip. There's teeth here for gripping and bidirectional to hold the coil tubing in place against upward and downward forces. And also this is with time source for damage also or fatigue with the time for coil tubing. After you close the slip ram and you open again, you need to pull out to check the body for the coil tubing from outside to check there is no damage or not. Pipe ram, this is for certain size for the coil tubing to seal with the packing element on the ram. This is the steps if you are going to shear the pipe. If you need to shear, this is last option. Usually you have two options to shear with quad ram, or you can shear with shear sealed ram, tertiary barrier, based on where the point for the leak and what is the situation during the operation. If I'm going to cut the pipe with the quad ram, so this is the steps. We close the slip ram first, hydraulic pressure, then we lock manual. You have manual lock by hand. You close pipe ram and lock manual, so you secure the and hang the string. After that, you shear the or close the shear ram. After that, you need to picking up the coiled tubing string like 1 to 2 feet to free the coiled tubing above the blind ram. So you can close blind ram without any coiled tubing across. Then you make inflow test for blind ram. Do you bleed any pressure above? No build up to check integrity. Then you can prepare for fishing or killing the well. Here, shear ram can shear only coiled tubing, not bottom hole assembly. It's not designed to cut bottom hole assembly. But in some cases, if your bottom hole assembly, small size, near to the coiled tubing size, it can be cut if you apply the shear ram. But according to the API, is not designed to cut with the shear ram the bottom hole assembly of the coiled tube. Combi BOB, it is solid block equipped of 2 sets of ram. So the top one combination between blind and shear, and second one or bottom one slip and pipe ram together. So what is the main advantage for combi ram over the quad ram?
Height is less for the combi.
Height is less, but also
and we need to actuate only 2 rams, and these 2 rams will perform all the 4 operations that a quad combi.
So less time for operation. That means less time to secure or fast to secure the well. Okay, this is the main advantage for combi ram. You have the same pressure sensor, equalizing valve, and also side kill port. Advantage here, as we said, less height, rigging up, less procedure steps, so less time or fast to secure the well during well control. The main disadvantage, yeah.
Okay, you can finish this disadvantage, and then can we have a 15-minute break for lunch?
Okay. Let me finish. Disadvantage, if you cut the pipe, it will be more cost for the surfacing because you need to chain the top ram together, which should contain also blind ram. So it will be less or high cost compared with the quad ram. Okay, we shall stop for 15-minute break. After that, inshallah, we'll continue.